So me saying I'm weird with touch, that's not true. I love hugs. I love high fives. I love handshakes. I love like putting my arm around somebody and vice versa. It was also me just sort of falling on my sword and being like, I don't want to make this a big deal. So hey, everyone, I'm weird with touch. Will that be enough for you to not grab my ass at a workplace?
I had always dealt with ADHD as myself and friends, not with a relationship. And I was like in bed researching it. And it was like column for column, exactly how we both felt. And we just cried. We just held each other and cried.
Some of the things that we say to one another, like certain things that just stick. And I'm like, Mom used to call us ugly. She said, I never said that. I said, y'all were funny looking.
Ori, we going to Australia?
Or
Nor.
That's not.
I'm gonna eat a koala.
No, you can't. You can't eat koalas.
I'm gonna try my beast.
This is crazy. This is weird being on this side.
Right?
I feel weirdly naked because I can usually stare at like all the little levels and.
You can't check yourself. You just gotta let go and enjoy.
Hey, future me, am I okay? Am I speaking right?
Yes, this is future Kevin. You're fine. Hello, everybody, and welcome to yet another SmoshCast. Hosting for the first time ever.
Damn, what is going on? I just got wrapped up in jail.
I say we leave it in.
Come on.
Joining us as the host for the first time ever is me, Damien Haas. And the man that asked me to put on a soulful voice for the SmoshCast, this is entirely his fault. Keith Leak Jr.
Come on.
Come on, indeed.
Come on.
Oh, come on.
Come on. Come on.
It's like Smash Bros. Like, come on.
Yeah, Star Fox.
No, it's like, come on.
Come on.
Say
on.
something. Just say something generally.
Birthday cake should be illegal.
Come on.
There,
Another thing.
Okay.
I get it.
Another
I
thing.
feel it.
Voting is important.
Come on. One more.
The birds work for the bourgeoisie.
Come on.
There we go. I like it.
That's
You
a
see
come
what
on
I'm
right
saying?
there.
I like
Let's
it.
talk about that.
Speaking of talking about that, joining us for the first time today on this side of the camera is Kevin Rygg.
Yes.
Hello.
Hi, Kevin.
Come on.
No.
Nah, I didn't do it right.
Come on.
That's a tough one.
Come on.
Come on.
Come on.
Come on.
Yeah, it's crazy being on this side of everything at this point. I mean, I have my own camera, so you can usually see me, kind of.
A little bit.
You're laughing,
But you're known as the Shredditor.
Yes.
You produce, you edit.
Yes.
Where's the sh part come from?
Is the shoot.
Oh,
shoot.
you
I get behind the camera too, so
Produce.
I shoot, produce, edit.
Nice.
Yeah.
Come on.
It sounds a little less and like not as bad as saying predator in today's 2020. You can't be called a predator.
Because that is the actual term for it,
It is
right?
the actual title. If you
Right.
look at my paperwork, it says predator. So legally, I am a predator.
No, don't come on. Don't come on.
No, so that's why I go as the Shredditor. I just don't feel as dirty.
Okay, yeah.
I'm a Ninja Turtles villain.
Yeah, I was about to say, like, oh no, Shredditor's attacking. After pizza, we should stop it.
Yes. I actually watched the Ninja Turtles, but not the one where
Really?
they were like in like costumes, like from
Yeah.
like the early 90s.
I had that on VHS.
I had that too, and I
Yeah.
would always look for it, and then they started doing that animated like one, and I that was a little, I didn't like that, so I just
loved
kind of
all
let
the
them go.
above.
Really?
Yeah, they were my thing for a long time.
Really?
Yeah. I don't know. I grew up with very specific cartoons because I lived in Germany for the
Right.
first like few years of my life. So I think the things that were accessible there on like American TV were like Sonic the Hedgehog, Ninja Turtles, and I had Mega Man on the Game Boy. So those were the big three for me at that time.
Nice.
Yeah.
Come on.
Come on, indeed.
Come on.
Oh, I did. I did.
Sorry.
I like that. So this is a new catchphrase for you.
Come on. Oh, yes, indeed. So, like, my friend, like, she came up with it. I was saying some stuff, and it was, like, years ago. She was like, come on. And it was, like, almost like you're in church, and you're just, like, giving, somebody
Yes.
some, like, a little, like, energy.
No, it's definitely a hype
right.
up. Yeah.
But I totally stole it, and it is mine now. So I came up with come on. So if you guys, like, start saying come on, definitely give me my credit.
What spurred that change for you? If she made it up years ago, why now?
Because she's not saying it. And this is the thing, when you let things go like that, something that should be said. See, the reason I didn't, like, say it earlier is because I thought it was hers. I thought it was hers.
She forgot to renew
Okay.
her copyright.
Yeah, exactly.
Exactly. So now it's mine. So come on with the questions.
There you go. That's perfect. I mean, hey, look, this could be huge for you. There are situations of like major websites not renewing in time. Someone snags that domain and they sell it back to them.
Yeah.
If she ever wants to say that again, you're going to be rich.
Come on. Hey, y'all heard me, but do you hear me though?
We are like
Sorry.
so many come-ons in, and we
No,
are
come
maybe
on, come on, Zins.
come-ons. That actually made me burp. Processing that made me go like, ugh. Like something had to come out of my body to let that information in.
Come on.
Kevin, do you have any catchphrases?
I don't think I do. I don't
No?
know. I don't. I don't monitor myself that often. I'm not in front of the camera as much, so I don't get to be like, oh yeah, there's my catchphrase. There's me doing that thing. I do like a punchy thing.
Yeah, I do that too though.
Yeah. It's okay. So it's not. It's mine.
No, what is well?
No, it's
So
my
you're a
catchphrase.
bully.
Did you renew the?
Yeah. No, I'm a bully.
You're a bully. You
No.
too.
It's how I hype myself up. If I'm gonna do like a workout, if I'm gonna do something, like I gotta do it. I'm like an anime character.
Yeah.
It's me
Okay.
like focusing my chakra, and so it's usually my like amp up.
You like grin on one side of your mouth, like "Let's do it!"
Yeah,
and
exactly.
then punch the hand.
What colored chakra is that?
Like a purple,
Ooh, like a deep purple.
like a royal purple. Yes,
like a royal purple.
Yeah.
Like the purple dye made by the ancient Phoenicians for their royalty.
Could you say that with the soulful voice that we were talking about?
Like the purple dye made by the ancient Phoenicians for their royalty.
Come on.
Come on, indeed.
That's like some ear candy right there.
Oh,
That's what
ear
I'm telling
biscuits.
No. We're on a different set completely.
Oh, got it. Oh no. But you do have a catchphrase though. Usually when you enter the office, you just very loudly like do like one of those power stands and you go, "Hey, baby." No, I'm
Please
just
tell me
kidding.
that's not real. I did not like that.
Yeah, that's the one. That's the one you're always
I
doing.
do it every time
This
I walk
is
in.
Look, I was not gonna be supportive of that. Like, we were gonna have to talk if that's
Okay, if we're being supportive of your come on.
Come on.
Come on.
Yeah, come on.
Okay.
Come on.
Ah!
Yeah.
Yes, I did. Sorry.
Kevin said you sound like a fighting game character, and I would have to agree.
I
Like,
do?
Smash Bros.
Yeah.
Or otherwise. When you say,
Really?
"Come on," that kind of deal, like,
Could you set me up with some people? Because I know, like, you do stuff
Oh,
on
I would.
games.
I would love to. I have to work on that for myself first, my friend.
No,
I
no,
have
no,
not done
don't-
any fighting
don't-
games.
that-
I want
that-
to so bad.
That's selfish. That's not a come on. That is called selfishness.
Oh.
I just asked you for help. You said, I'm trying to help myself.
It's not a
Well,
come on.
I can't help you until I help myself. I can't make those connections if I don't have them.
Come on.
Yeah.
I'll give you that.
Yeah.
I'll give you that.
I haven't done any fighting games. I've only done I've done a lot of like shooting games. I haven't done like any RPGs.
What's your favorite one that you've done?
Definitely Fortnite. I'm
Okay,
in
nice.
they have two modes, the Battle Royale one, which is like, Ninja and all them playing that, and then there's Save the World, which is like the cooperative story mode.
You did like the demon guy, right? Was that you?
I did lots of things.
Oh,
I
you
did
did lots of them?
I did a werewolf, but
So
like my
cool.
main dude is named Dennis, and he's been in the game for like years. Like I've been going in every other month or every month for like years, even before Smosh. And it's just so much fun. He's like fun to play because he's dumb as hell, but has these just like little nuggets of wisdom every once in a while. And the dude who writes the game is actually so smart and so funny. So I don't know. I love playing that character.
Yeah.
Nice.
Yeah, it's fun.
Do a Dennis voice.
This is my Dennis voice, and I know that we talked about me not going outside, but also I'm surrounded and I need help. Like it's everything he says is very like metered and measured, and he's just
That's really fun. That's so
Thanks,
cool.
man.
No, I don't play Fortnite enough, so it's a Save the World or
Yeah, it's Save the World. The funny thing is, I like played the game originally when it was out on beta before Battle Royale was even a thing, and I don't think I ever got to hear my character at that point. Like I saw my character's face, and I was like, "Oh, I'm gonna be like rescuing him soon," but it was like kind of far into the game. But now he's like in every single situation. So if I went back and restarted my account and like got there, I don't know. I don't think I've ever heard myself in a game just randomly. Oh no, when recording for Smosh one time, Grand Theft Auto.
Wait,
That's
you're in
so
Grand Theft
cool.
Auto?
I'm a cop. Yeah,
You're a cop.
Yeah. Yeah, I was a mean guy too. I was a big old mean,
Okay,
big old mean man. Big old mean man. Yeah. But anyway, me.
Yeah.
No, we're all about it.
Yeah.
Oh,
Look,
thank
tell
you.
us more. Oh, so Damien, so you just went on tour. Please tell me about
Yeah.
that.
Oh, it was so much fun. It was a great experience. We knew we were going to be exhausted from doing that, but it was very well worth it. We did 5 cities in a week, which was
Good Lord.
That is
insane.
wild. I saw that, like looking at that schedule, I was like, oh, cool, 5 cities. They're gonna hit it. Like they got, a couple weeks to do it. And I saw the schedule. It was like city, rest, city. And I was like, you guys.
Nah,
Yeah.
if Beyonce can do it, so can you.
That's
Oh,
what
wow, that's
Beyonce is like the pinnacle of humanity.
Well, I mean, y'all did some Beyonce.
Thank you.
Kudos to y'all.
We held a beance.
You
We
are-
had her spirit
you are-
within us.
A Beyonce.
A beance. We
I
held
can't
hands and had a
stand you.
beance.
Bye. A Beyonce.
There goes Keith. He just walked out angrily. That
Oh,
was-
bye, Keith. Bye. No, but it was great. I think the one challenge for me was sleeping on the bus. I am
Usually like your alone time too and stuff, right?
I do, but that wasn't so tough for me, to be honest. I thought that would be the thing, and
Gotcha.
it really wasn't. It was just a matter of like the bunks were stacked 3 high. The top bunk is usually the least desirable, but I wanted it because it didn't really matter to me, and I like knew that other people would not want it. But like you could feel every bit of the motion if you just hit like a bumpy part in the road, like your bed is vibrating and shaking, and there's no lip on the bed to like stop you from falling out. So like you're like subconsciously flexing your core all night to try to like not flip over.
So you got shredded abs now?
Oh yeah,
Come
they're
on.
just hidden behind.
Come on.
Hidden behind a bunch of awesomeness?
Yes, my winter weight that is extending till spring. But yeah, it was. I'm also a little bit claustrophobic, so I had some like panic attacky kind of situations.
Oh, yeah, no,
which
thank
is
you.
not fun. It looked and felt like a coffin.
I saw pictures of it. That was terrifying.
was a lot.
I'm not like quite as claustrophobic, but I get like really weird if I can't move. Like
Exactly.
If I can't move, if I'm like stuck, I'm like not scared of small spaces. You put me in a small space, but let me move, I'm fine.
Right.
But you tie me up or you bunch me. Yeah. So
That's
that did not
exactly
look
what it
fun.
was. It's exactly what it was, because I kept having these thoughts of like, I'm fine in a small space until I have the thought of like, you're here and you can't not be here. Like, so to remedy that, there were these like soundproof curtains that were in front of every bed that, you could pull closed. So I had to like sleep with mine half open with my hand off my bed to be like, look, there's more of a space that you can go into at any time.
By the way, trigger warning for anybody with claustrophobia.
Oh, well.
Yeah, I didn't know I had any like issues with that, but I'm definitely getting a little anxiety
Really?
right now. Sure.
Yeah.
For sure. Getting a little bit. Starting to sweat.
Is that something you often deal with? Just like
anxiety?
Yeah.
Actually, yes. Believe it or not. So I hate to get like pressured to do stuff. If I say no, it means no. Like I'm one of those people, like you can't like sway me. I won't change like what I'm thinking. Like, you know what I mean? I'll like give it a go. But usually I know if it's a yes or a no. So sometimes friends will be like, hey Keith, let's go do this. And I'm like, yo man, I'm not in like the right, mental space to do it right now. No. Man, just come on, just like, bro, like I need somebody there. Like, no, man, I just don't really want to. I'm not feeling it. I know if I come and hang out with you, like I'm gonna like have a bad. I'm gonna be like I'm gonna make it a
like
bad
a downer.
time. I'm gonna make it. I'm gonna make it a down situation. Just come on. Oh my God. So now I'm starting to get like anxiety. So my heart is starting to beat. I'm starting to sweat. I'm starting to pace a little bit. And then I'll just continue to get pressed. And I mean, I'll still say no, but by the time I'm saying no, now I'm being like an ass.
Sure.
And now I'm like upset, but like I'm shaken up because I shouldn't be as shaken as I am, but like I go there because like I'm saying doing all that I can to let you know that this is the way that it's gonna go, and you're not taking my word for it, and it like that frustrates me, and it gives me anxiety to like the umpteenth degree. I can't do like even talking about it right now. I'm starting to get
I feel that.
What I mean? Like it's a thing. Like I can social anxiety. Like I can usually be in like big crowds. I can like walk through, you know what I mean? I'd be like, hey, be the life of the party.
Right.
But like when it's like a few people that I don't know, or it's like a small group, like you guys are fine, like whatever. But when it's like people that I don't know, I'm like on the inside, I am losing it.
I feel that.
I'm losing
really
it.
do.
One time I went to meet up with my friends, and I was in my Uber, of course. And I'm in the back chilling. These are friends that I hang with all the time, like weekly. And I'm just like going through it. I'm like, hold on, why am I starting to get anxiety? Like, what's going on? Like, what's going on? And this is the first time I really acknowledged it for what it was, because I'm like on my way, and I'm like, they're like, yo, Keith, come. They're so excited to see me. Like, I'm so excited to see them. You know what I mean? I think at this point, just like a year or so ago, and we had been filming, for like a couple days. And it was like the last day. So I went and hung out, and I'm just in the back of this Uber, just like starting to get worked up. And I'm like, damn, like, what did I do? Like, what's going on? Like, why? Like, is there a chemical imbalance going on? What's going on? And then I got there, and it kind of went away, but it didn't go away the way that I thought it would. It was so weird. Like, it was so weird. And I was just like, why am I doing this? Like, I see you guys like enough all the time. There's no reason I should have this right now. So then it started like, it makes me question myself, like, what's really going on? Like, what's the root of it,
That's an interesting thing to bring up, if I may ask a question about that. If you are so like set in your answer of like, no, I'm not going to do this thing. No, I'm not going to do that tonight. Obviously, it's annoying when someone keeps pressing you, but do you think the anxiety starts to kick in? Is there like a pressure because you don't want to disappoint someone, or how they're going to view you for not? Because if their feelings aren't taken into consideration, you truly don't care what they think, and you're just saying no over and over again. It sounds like you would otherwise be pretty set.
Right. I mean, I want to be there for my friends.
Sure,
you know what I mean?
sure.
They're there for me, and like, honestly, I'm the type of person, if I'm like, yo, come on and let's do something, something, my friends are gonna do it with me.
Sure.
But I'm not always like that. But it's because of like how I know how I operate and how I move, you know, and how I maneuver. Like what you guys get to see of me is not Keith all the time. The people that really know me, like that really, really know me, know that I'll be in a corner by myself underneath the table. Don't bother me. You know what I mean? I'll come out and like talk to you when I want to, you know, but at the same time, I'm still like approachable. I'm not like, but I prefer not to be in it like that, you know?
I can relate to that very well. I have dreams all the time that are sort of like there's a party going on in a place where I live, but I'm not downstairs at the party. I'm upstairs in like a really cool room and I can just hear the music and hear the people. And it's like, it's nice. It's comforting. It's like, I don't necessarily want to be down there, but it's nice to know that everyone's here.
Right.
That's dope. I like that.
Isn't that interesting?
I like that.
I feel like I can relate to you.
I'm on the same page with you like that. Like I can be in like a party setting or like in another room and hearing it going off, I'm cool. But like when people start to come in, I might act sleep. I might act sleep. I might be like, oh, okay. As soon as the door closes, I'm on my phone. Just chilling.
Is it like,
okay, cool.
Is it like a social battery kind of thing? Like, do you have like when you go to those events or those moments, you have like a little bit of time when you're like cool with it? Like you're like, I'm here, it's cool. And then it like drains quicker, like because I know a lot of people have like a social battery. So like some people, like I'm like weirdly, I can just go all night with my social battery.
You definitely seem more like the life of the party for sure.
Yeah, I can go, but I get my point too. I'll hit my point and I'll just know like, cool, I'm done. Like my social battery is drained. I'm gonna go home, and it just depends on mood and day and stuff. But and some people don't have as intense, like how you're saying, like with the like being nearby but not directly in it.
Right.
Like that's kind of part of that too. So are you feeling like that? Like you have like a social battery that's not
this is the thing. If I know I'm getting into something, I'll turn it on and then almost forget sometimes also. So I'll forget that I was like not like comfortable. And then I'll start making people laugh and I'll get that crowd going. I'm like, okay, cool, it's not so bad. I got a damn crowd. Like it's almost like a show sometimes. And like that's what I try to pull back away from because I'll find myself getting there and I want to be like authentic. You know what I mean?
It sounds exhausting if you feel like it's a show that you're putting on.
It's so exhausting, and I just come on and I'll just and I don't know. Like sometimes I kill it, and then there's other times where it's just like, okay, hey everybody, how you doing? Okay, gotta go. Oh yeah, ha ha ha, bye.
So even when you're having fun, it sounds like there's a lot of pressure.
Sometimes it depends on the circumstances. It depends on the people that I don't know that are in the room. It depends on who I'm meeting for the first time. It depends if I want to if I'm in the mood to talk. Like I don't want to say complicated, but I'm complicated, guys.
I'm like tell me if this is a scenario you relate to. You're gonna hang out one-on-one with one friend, and you're like comfortable to do it, and then they check their phone and they go, "Yo, Jared and Benifer want to come over, and also they want to bring their friend Kyle." And you're like, it's the worst feeling.
Bro, come on. Yeah. No, dead ass. Yes. I hate that. So I have this one friend. I have this one friend.
Oh, really?
Come on.
I'm so opposite.
Really?
No, I'm like, if it's like me and a buddy one-on-one, we're hanging out, and like I feel like we reached that point, and then he's like, yo, hey, I got some friends want to hang out. I'm like, yo, let's do it.
We're just wired differently.
So like, it could be even for me. I'm the type. I have this one friend that he'll invite some like people, like whether it be his cousins, it'll be like a group of people, you know. But then he'll like come over and be like, yo, I'm inviting so and so and so and so. I'm like, bro, this is not even that type of crowd. Like, why would you do that?
Now I want to go home and I can't because I'm the asshole.
Oh, hold on. I want to go home and I am gonna go home. Look, peace out. Yeah. Come on.
But you're total opposite.
Yes, completely.
So are you the person that just gets stoked when new people are invited? Or are you the one that says, you know what, this party needs more people, and you are the inviter? Like, are you an organizer? Do you like to put things together?
Yeah, I'm an organizer of that kind of stuff. Like, I love putting that stuff together. I love being just constantly. It's not even like center of the attention. I find more entertainment when a party builds, when people are like having fun and making sure everybody's having fun.
But see, we need people like you. Because otherwise we wouldn't get out of the house ever. There wouldn't be events without folks like yourself.
I still get out of the house. It's just on my terms. And this is the thing. I don't know. It's so messed up because like I've had certain friends that have like pulled me out of my comfort zone. But at the same time, my comfort zone is my comfort zone. Correct. So it's, it sounds so terrible, but it's on my time. It's on my time. How I like when I go out, who I go out with, who I hang out with. It's like on my time.
You are not terrible for setting boundaries.
Correct.
I think that's part of the pressure that, at least for myself, I feel like if I have to say like I need a me night, like you don't always have to have an excuse for why you can't hang out. It's like, guess what? I just don't want to today.
Come on.
That's right.
Yeah.
Matthew Scott, who's a good friend of Shane of mine, who you guys know, you know as well.
Yes, we worked together a few
and
times.
he's been here a few times now. Hi, Matthew Scott. Way back in the day when Shane and I were on So Random, we had a situation where we were like, Shane and Sterling and I are going to go do this. Matthew Scott, do you want to come? And he just went, no, and then just walked away. And it was like, that was the first time I'd ever experienced someone like, you don't have to have an excuse. You don't have to be like, oh, Tuesday? No, I can't. It was incredible, and I've learned from it.
Yep.
It's like, you can do that, and I don't think less of him. He's awesome.
But okay, see that I'm so down for that. And if somebody does that, like I'm down for that. But like, just imagine having a friend who pressures you.
No, that's
presses you.
That's the angle that I never hit on that, and that's like,
I've never felt pressured by you.
It's a fine balance too. It's like, hey, you want to come hang out? Nah, it's cool. Don't even worry about it, man. We got another time.
Yeah.
I'm not angry. You're not ruining my day. Like it would be fun to hang out with you, but I'm not hinging my emotions off of you showing up.
Oh, see,
Totally.
I think me and I got some like toxic ass friends.
Maybe,
but in the best way, like they're my peoples. These are my
Sure.
peoples. But like, there's some toxicity going on that we must relieve.
Have you ever had a conversation about that with them?
Hell
Like,
yeah! I just had to tell them the other day. I said, "Don't do this no more." And they was like, "No, honestly."
Man.
I was like, it came out of nowhere, and it was just a little bit of. I seen something happen. I said, "Yo, please don't ask me for this anymore." And they were like, "What's wrong?" And I'm like, "Please," I said, "You do this all the time. Don't do this. Don't do this. Don't do this." And I said, "I know you're thinking I'm gonna be upset. Like, I know you think I'm upset, and I'm being like mean, but I said, I know, like, but you being petty is like, you're gonna like not want to talk to me, but I'm just letting you know, just don't do this out of respect because like I feel so much pressure right now."
No means no.
Honestly, this is the thing. It drives me nuts because I let people know how I want to be treated. You know what I mean? I do that in all of my friendships, and sometimes it's harder because people have their own like things that they want. You know, and it's just like, yo, no, get the out of my face. Come on.
Yeah. Your time is your time. It's not theirs.
on.
And I think if you communicate that honestly, come on.
Come on.
I think if you communicate that honestly and then someone still isn't, respecting that, that's when it's an issue.
So I should beat their ass.
Yes, that's what I'm getting to in this
Come
conversation.
on.
Keith, I got your back on this one. We'll go do. Yeah, I got your back.
Kevin, you're definitely a ride or die. I could no joke, I could see you doing that. You're one of my best buddies. I don't know if you knew that.
Thank you.
Hold on, you guys went to where'd you guys go together?
Went to Japan.
Japan.
Yeah.
Like who does that? Who
It was
just
great.
packs up and go to Japan for like a couple weeks too, right?
Well,
I mean, my wife was there too. Lacey was there.
Hi, Lacey.
Hi, Lacey.
Yeah, it was a situation where like Shane and I had gone to Japan the previous year, and I was like, I want to do that again. Shane, what do you think? And he's like, well, it's going to be tough with Smosh filming, and I've got the Goldbergs. I just don't know when it's going to happen. And I was just like, that's okay. And he's like, yeah, I also kind of want to like maybe try somewhere else this year. We've already done Japan. I'm like, that's fair. I still really want to go though. Yeah. And then I like literally that day went up to Kevin, and I was just like, hey, do you want to go to Japan? And he's like, hell yeah.
Let me just make sure it's cool. Hey, it's cool.
It's cool.
Wow.
Yeah.
That's
plane
awesome.
tickets right now. I was like, all right, let's get these plane tickets.
We straight up did it. Yeah,
in the
it was
morning. And then like I go home that night. I'm like, oh, this is happening.
Yeah.
Oh no. Wow. We're doing this.
It was
Like
a
I
lot
got
of fun.
tickets.
Yeah.
Dude, it was so much fun. The adventures were crazy.
Absolutely.
And then like you went off and you did your thing and got lost in the mountain.
Oh, yeah. That was a fun thing. I don't know if I ever talked about that on the podcast,
did not.
but basically, we started out together in Osaka.
Yes.
And that was a city that neither of us had been to. And it was fun. We did that for a couple days, but I started, looking around Osaka, and I was like, man, I didn't know anything about Osaka, and mentally in my mind, I was thinking it was more like Kyoto.
That was the same image I had too. I was like I went to Osaka and I was like, this is cool, but like I thought there was going to be something different.
Yeah, I thought it was going to be rural, basically, and like with a lot of classic structures. But it was sort of the equivalent of like, oh, I've done Tokyo before, New York. Why don't I go do Osaka, Chicago? And it was like,
I'm over here like, what the f you talking about? No,
it's literally like, oh, another big city just on the other side of Japan.
Yep.
Like I'm not.
Though that takoyaki though. Let's talk about that takoyaki.
Ooh, they're
was that?
octopus hush puppies.
Oh, okay, I'm like, what city is
Damn
that?
good. And these guys added like savory like Rice Krispies on top. So good. But after like 3 days, I was like, you know what? I want that rural experience. And you had already done Kyoto. So I was like, I think I'm just going to go do my own thing for like a week. And so hopped on a train, went to Kyoto, found a hotel that was like nice, but not well known. So it was still bone cheap. And yeah, just made my way for a week and got lost on a mountain, Fushi Inari Shrine, I think it was.
Did you have two phones on you? Because I remember I was texting you during the moment that it was going on. And like
one was a burner, one for the plug and one for the load.
Come on.
Sorry, I didn't mean to just call you out like that on the podcast.
Oh, we trapping.
No, there was one that came with the
Damien.
hotel room as like a pocket Wi-Fi. In Japan, you gotta have like pocket Wi-Fi.
Unless you have T-Mobile.
Unless you have T-Mobile.
Come
So
on.
like you actually have this like cell service Wi-Fi that you just take around with you, or another cell phone that you use a hotspot. But that's the best way to travel. So yeah, I got kind of lost on a mountain, but even that was
my
fun.
God.
I was like a worried bud because I was like at home. I was in the bed because we went over towards Mount Fuji when he was doing that. So I was like in bed with Lacey and I'm just like on my phone. I'm like, you think he's okay? She's like, I'm sure he's fine.
It's
I'm
totally
like,
fine.
But I'm like, he hasn't messaged me back in like an hour, and he said he was on a mountain and it's getting dark and he only had a flashlight and 2 phones.
Hold on, what?
No, it's not that bad. So
No, that sounds terrible.
No,
Imagine me. I'm like,
Do you
Damien,
understand how
are you
terrible
okay?
that sounds?
Damien, and then he texts me. He's like, man, it was fun. I got this and that. And I was like,
Well,
Okay,
first of all, Japan is the safest place in the flipping world.
True.
Two, it was like a big tourist area that like ever seen like a bunch of orange gates in like people's Japan photos? Like,
Yeah.
The like 1,000 orange like gates that people just walk through. Anyway,
yeah, I saw it 'cause
Fushinari Shrine.
I was there.
You get it.
Yeah.
So it's like a big tourist spot, and not everybody goes like to the top. And it was like quite the hike to get there. But there's a path. There's like a path to do it. I'm not like in the wilderness finding my way through this mountain. At the only point I ever got like kind of nervous, I was like, oh man, it's getting kind of dark. Am I going to make my way down? Like an old lady just like walks by me. And I'm like, this is literally nothing. I'm being a baby. So the only scary part was like the wildlife there you're not supposed to mess with. So there are all these signs that are like, hey, don't make eye contact with monkeys. They'll your life.
Come
Same
on.
thing with like wild boars. They're going to gut you.
Yeah. Or
And so-
there's signs that show snakes, boars, monkeys, and hornets.
Oh, I didn't know about the hornets. But the thing is, like, it's getting so dark. I'm like, am I making inadvertent eye contact with monkeys and just not knowing it? And
They'll
are they
like
gonna be
rob you
"That's the
too,
dude"?
right?
I don't know if they're the rob you kind, but I think they're the like take your lips and show it to you kind.
Hold on, what?
Wait, hold
Like,
up.
No, all monkeys are terrifying,
True.
right?
No,
They're
yeah,
just,
yeah,
like, they
extremely
got,
so.
like, it's like strong monkey
Strong
muscles.
monkeys.
and
They got
they
monkey
hurt
muscles.
you.
Yeah.
But anyway, that was fun. And I felt like we got a lot closer
Yes.
just being buddies. And we would like meet up at little points along the way when we, throughout the trip. Like we had dinner in Tokyo and
Went and got beer there too. We went to the
Yeah.
izakaya out in Tokyo.
Yeah, that was
Osaka
great.
was delicious. That first night we rolled in, we got the yakitori too.
Damn,
Like
damn.
it was an adventure.
That
man.
that's the thing. Like, okay, so first of all, let me say this: I've never been out of the country, believe it or not.
I don't believe
I don't think. Yeah, come on. I don't think for me. If I were to go out there, like I would have been like with you guys the whole time. You know what I mean? Like I wouldn't have left the way you did that. I wouldn't have gone and experienced my own like situation. I would have just been like, okay, so this is the city.
sure.
Where's the drinks? This is
Yeah.
nice. I don't want to be in the dark with some flashlights and some monkeys. Come on. Like, I don't want any of that. Like, you are very independent because,
Well,
and it
you.
says, like, as much as, like, I might get social anxiety or, like, I want to be by myself in those situations, I'm up under you. You know what I
Sure,
mean?
sure.
Like, I would not just.
Well, the thing is, I'd been there once before, even though there were
Right.
new cities. Like I'd been to Japan. The train system is pretty easy to figure out once you get a handle on it. I know enough of the language to get by politely in like
See?
restaurants and stuff.
You
and-
know more than just enough.
Yeah.
Your Japanese was like when we were there. I saw it just boosting. I was like,
Aw, thank
Damien,
you,
like
man.
how does Damien know that? I don't even know that word.
Appreciate
Damien.
that a lot.
I would
But you
have.
taught me so much. I'd write down everything you'd say, and then I
See?
would.
It was all wrong.
Parrot it
was
back.
all wrong.
I would have went in there saying gracias. Like I wouldn't know what to say.
Mentiroso, hasta luego.
Hola. I'm like, I would have been cha-cha and everything. I said, y'all do salsa? Y'all like
That's
salsa?
amazing.
I
I
mean,
it up.
yeah.
Thanks, y'all. That was fun. But it was cool to see you too because you are like you're so conversational with your Japanese too. Like I can speak politely like I've learned from a textbook, but you're very much like, "Hey, how's it going, bud? Let's talk and have a conversation." And that was impressive to
Right.
me.
I'm not for anybody who my Japanese isn't fluent. I learned enough to go through and learn how to be conversational enough and talk. I just I never practice it as much as I should.
Sure.
Duolingo yells at me every other day. It threatens me. I think the other day it threatened to stab me. It was kind of
Hold on, can somebody teach me something in like Japanese, like a word or something? a phrase?
Kevin's the senpai.
all right. If you want to say like nice to meet you,
Nice to meet you.
would you say
Hajimemashite.
hajimemashite?
Hajimemashite.
Say it again.
Haji
Haji
me
me
mashite.
Haji me mashite. Come
Yeah.
on.
Hi.
Hi.
Yeah.
There you go. You just said nice to meet you.
How do I say come on?
Just like you said it. Just
Oh,
exactly.
ikuzo.
Oh yeah,
Right?
yeah.
Exo.
That's let's go.
That's
But
let's
yeah,
go.
but come on, yeah, you could do that too.
Exo.
Ikuzo.
Exo. Come on. Come on.
Welcome to Japanese Language Podcast.
Hey, let's get it. Come on.
But it was cool getting to know you more
Yeah,
too.
it
dude,
was
'cause
really
we
fun.
were fast friends when I started working here, but
Yeah.
I don't know. I feel like I got to know you a lot more. I definitely got to know Lacey more, your wife.
Yeah, she loved every bit of it too.
yeah.
It was really fun for all of us when we were traveling and doing the whole thing. So,
Aw.
and then by the end of it though, we were just exhausted.
I was too, man.
Oh,
How
my
long
God,
were
we
you guys out there again?
like
10 days
10
with travel.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It was like it was like a 12-day total trip, but the 10th day was just because we kind of like the weird ebb and flow of time when you're going traveling in distance like that.
and you just walk constantly.
God,
Like it's so
so
great
much
that it's so walkable, but like my legs were just so sore every
Jell-O?
single day.
It was like
Jello, yeah.
We averaged, I think I
said it was
kept
like
track.
8?
It was like 7 to 8 miles a day is what we walked.
I would be kind of down for that
Like
right
we
now.
lost weight.
Yeah.
We lost weight during that. We
I
were eating
definitely
so
lost
much
weight.
food.
Yes, that sounds good. I'm going on a hike right after this.
Hell yeah.
Definitely.
Come on.
I kept finding like restaurants where I would be the only person in there and it'd be run by like an elderly couple and they were
Yes.
just like so stoked to see me and like that's just a good feeling and you know I love that kind of stuff.
That stuff was so much fun. So hey, Japan, hit us up. We want to go back.
Hit us up all of Japan.
Invite
Every
me.
single-
Yeah, come
Actually,
on down,
no,
man.
yeah.
I think that'd be great.
Yeah.
Come on.
Come on.
And speaking of getting to know you better, this is a bit of a segue, but we'd sort of talked about something regarding having you on the podcast today. There was some
Right.
stuff you wanted to like talk about.
Yeah. Yeah.
I'm giving you the platform. I know that's
Yes, I know.
that's sort of a hard segue, but I'm
I
like
love it. I love it.
we'd already talked about mental stuff for
Right.
a bit, so I'm
Yeah,
just
a little bit.
curious.
Yeah, I wanted to bring to the podcast a little bit. So not many people probably know about me. So my name's Kevin.
Hey,
Kevin.
come
I'm
on.
the Shredditor. I sit
all-
behind the camera. I help produce things. You might catch glimpses of me. One time I drank some really nasty fish.
Oh yeah.
Eat it or eat it. But one thing about me is I have ADHD, and I have the ADHD that's the most fun in the sense of, so there's like 3 kinds. You can have hyperactive or you can have inattentive.
Mhm.
And then there's the one that's a combination of both, and that's me. So I'm hyperactive and inattentive.
Dang.
And so, yeah, I wanted to, like, that was one thing I wanted to discuss at some point was like ADHD and what it's like to be somebody with it and like how society looks at it and stuff like that. So.
Well, I think that's awesome because you know we've talked about anxiety, we've talked about my OCD, we talked about body issues and sexuality and gender identity and all these different things. So I think this can only help people. But just out of curiosity, so for those people that don't know fully what ADHD is beyond what you've just said, like textbook wise, what does that look like day to day for you? Like how might that affect what's an interaction that might be different for you than it would be different for someone else?
Right. So a lot of like ADHD, especially since I'm only speaking once again from having like the combination of
Sure.
it happens. It's so weird because it happens in small ways and it's so subtle in a lot of ways that like a lot of people just see it as your personality. It's just you. It's just that. But then of course me, I'm like, well, I didn't want to do that. I didn't want to be that person. I did it. And then you're just like, it drives. So you don't notice it in the moment you're doing something. So a good example is, let me just dredge up some examples I have.
Sure.
I've got a lifetime of them. I know I have to bring something with me. So to school, to work, to something I have to go to. Hey, remember to bring that object. So I'm like, cool, I need to bring that object with me. I need to bring that object with me. I need to bring it, set it out, get it ready. I'm in the morning, I'm getting prepared. I look at the object, I'm going to take that with me. Then I look over there and I forget that the object exists and I walk out the door and then I get to the place, I'm like, that object. And it's not like it, everybody does that at some point. Everybody's like, shoot, I forgot that object. But this is like a daily occurrence to the point where like I'll walk out the door, shut the door, keys were in there, day after day after day.
Yeah.
Or I'll have to bring that object with me and I'll walk out the door, go back in, grab the object, go out the door, shut the door, lock it, realize I left my phone in there, go get my phone, leave, lock the door, realize, crap, I also didn't grab that other object I needed. Go back in and grab it. So I'll exit my apartment 3 or 4 times sometimes if it's really bad.
Wow.
Or like it comes down to like the ability to just talk endlessly. So that is one of the problems too, is like if I've been drinking like too much caffeine or haven't slept enough, my brain will just start firing and like I'll just talk incessantly. So I've learned over the years methods to like corral myself in some of these ways.
Yeah, because you have a very high pressure position. Like you're
Yes.
the Shredditor. Yeah, but that I mean, you are doing 3 jobs where sometimes maybe someone would have difficulty focusing on one.
Yes.
So how did you get from point A to here?
That's awesome. No,
Yeah,
that's
incredible.
keep going. I'm sorry.
No,
really
that's
cool.
fine. Thank
Yeah.
you. It wasn't. None of it's ever been easy. So I'm for those listening and watching, I'm currently unmedicated. I've been unmedicated since high school.
Oh wow.
Cool.
And that was on purpose. I just didn't like, personally, this is my choice. Anybody listening, if medication is your thing and you need it to help you, please, by all means.
Hell yeah. I was on medication for a while for OCD stuff. And
so
same. Yeah.
So for my personal choice, I didn't like the way it made me feel. I liked the exuberance of my personality, my ability to be just random and all over the place. Because it also it brings a lot of skills and stuff to me. But it's here we go. I forgot what the question you asked me. See, there we go.
That's okay. I mean, so basically I'm asking, point A is for getting stuff, checking your door 7 times. Point B is you are Shredditor for Smosh, managing a bunch of stuff that I don't think someone without I think someone without ADHD would have a lot of difficulty doing.
I would not. I'd be like, okay, well, okay, I quit.
So how did you do it?
Okay, thank you. Now we're back on track. See, there's a really good example. Come on. So a lot of it has to do with just pure force of will. Like it sounds, so once again, unmedicated, I don't medicate. So a lot of it is pure force of will. A lot of it is building up habits. So I can never see when an ADHD moment's going to happen. Just when we were talking, I forgot what you asked me. Sure. And so I can never see when it happens, but I can recognize that it happened. And the difference is, in a lot of ADHDers, I'm speaking for myself at least, are embarrassed about their ADHD moments. And so they won't say anything. They'll just like try to nod and smile and like realize they just missed half a conversation and then just be like, and then try to pick up. I've gotten so good at picking up the last like sentence of someone said and inferring to the entire conversation. A lot of it is just putting in place just checks along the way and being really open about it. Yeah. So telling you, hey, I forgot your question. Hey, I'm so sorry. You literally just said your name. I've already forgot your name. Sure. Hey, I know you just gave me this detailed rundown about this thing. I'm sorry, my brain. I'm ADHD moment. I do it to Lacey a lot too. Like, in fact, sometimes I find myself apologizing too much. Really? I'll go to like say something so non sequitur because my brain just jumped 15 times. And so you said the word, you're like, oh, I really like tea. And the next thing I know is I'm talking about some random thing that my brain leapt to. And I'll apologize, be like, hey, sorry, ADHD moment. I just thought of like this one thing.
I think we've had moments before where you're like, oh man. And I was just like, no, that's what a conversation is. Like, you're bringing up the next topic. That's okay.
Yeah, keep that going.
Yeah. But so a lot of it, and to the point where I am now, it's like force, like sheer force of will and those checks and balances. So I go shopping and I am an impulse buyer, horribly impulse buyer. And like money has always been a struggle for me in a lot of things. And, you know, I love Lacey. She takes care of all that at this point. Like I put my money in her hands and I'm like, you know, whatever, you got this. I got your back. I'll help do budget sheets. But at the same time, like, you give me my allowance. Otherwise I will spend it all on a lot of ramen.
Come on, ramen.
But so checks and balances. I go to the grocery store. I go impulse buying. I load my cart up of all the things I want. Get to the checkout, and I stop myself, outside the checkout aisle, and I look in the cart and I ask myself, what do I need from here? What do I actually? What was an impulse buy? What was fun to put in the cart, but is gonna like kill me if I not kill me, not actually, but I shouldn't buy. Sure. And then we'll do that. Lacey and I'll go through the cart and move things aside and be like, okay, this is what I actually need. That stuff, we don't need it. I was just reaching.
So it sounds like you've got a solid toolbox of, how to deal with things, but built up over time that you learned. Sounds like you've got a great partner who's understanding and helpful. I'll also say whether it's ADHD, OCD, anxiety, what have you, I think people are more forgiving than you expect. Yeah. Like when you're like, sorry, ADHD moment, it's just like, oh, I don't care. Let's talk about that thing again. That's fine. And my OCD stuff, the sound is a big deal for me. If someone's got like a water bottle and they're just talking and they're like, I think we should like go over to the other thing and start talking about whatever.
That.
And they're just absentmindedly cracking, clicking. Like it really is like it's like static. Like if you think in terms of pictures or words, all of a sudden it's just like taking it over and it literally just sends me into a thing. So I have to like, I'm so sorry, man. Can you stop just crunching that can? Like I'm so sorry.
And it's not from a place of like, it's not from a place of anger. And it's not from a place of you like hating them for it or anything.
But I get embarrassed and I have to apologize.
Yeah. And I'm that person that will do like crunch up and then like not stop, or like if I'm in somebody's car sitting down and they like the seatbelt sound, I don't put on my seatbelt, which always put on your seatbelt, kids, but like I won't put it on and it'll be like ding 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 ding, and I'll just be over here talking, listen to the radio like
Damien, I think you and I have a problem with Keith,
right?
Keith, buddy.
And then they're like, Keith, could you please just put it on? I'm like, yo, I totally tuned that out. So like I have that thing to tune that. I have a cool skill chill to tune some stuff out that just like everyone else is annoyed with. And I mean, rightfully so, because I guess like under certain circumstances, I would feel annoyed too. You know what I mean? Or be like triggered or whatever the word is.
Well, and the big thing that I find for myself now too that really helps boost me personally is like exercise of some sort. Because I have, with a hyperactivity spot, I can have like a huge boost of energy from nowhere. And to like calm and quell the storm in my brain, sometimes I need to go on a run. I'll get home and be like, I need to go on a run. Or if I'm hiking or something, I'm like, I'm going to hike up this hill faster than anybody's hiked before. Like I push myself to the limit. I've had to pull back a little bit just so I don't injure or hurt myself. But like exercise, I think is like also just like a great thing, and mentally for everybody too.
I think sometimes whatever someone deals with mentally, there are ways you can sort of shift it to be more like a superpower.
Yes.
Like with that, you focus on that and like, I'm going to push myself up the hill. With the OCD stuff, like focusing really hard on one thing, it's like, what if I actually can get away from that noise and focus on this one thing I have to do and I have to get it done? It's rare that I'm able to do that, but when I can, it's just, it's a superpower.
Yeah.
But I think I so appreciate you talking about this because, you know, you and I had a conversation about it maybe like a year ago that it's something that you deal with. Some of my best friends growing up had ADHD and I saw them through like different phases of being medicated and all that stuff. But even knowing that, I didn't know the daily struggle. To me, it was just like, oh, that just means you're hyper.
Right.
Got
Exactly.
it. Like, right?
Well, that's what a lot of people think. Like the joke everybody makes about it is like, squirrel, squirrel, squirrel. And they're like, oh, and then, or the other part is like people be like, I must be ADHD too. I forgot. It's like man, it comes out in so many small ways. Like
I have a story about that.
Yeah, please.
This is me, like, because I was totally out of line. So, like you said, in school and different things, you know, you have a hyper kid, and it's like, oh, you need medicine. That would be a thing that was said. So I have this cousin who lives with my grandma. I'm pretty sure he had ADHD, and if he had it, he had like a
right.
He was kind of like, beyond just him having energy, he was kind of just like a bad kid too.
Yeah.
And I remember I said that to him. You know, I'm like 6 years younger, you know, so, but he was just like off the walls. And I said, you need medicine. You need to take medicine. My grandma came down, God rest her soul. She's not with us anymore. But she came down and she said, don't you ever say that. She said, I have what he has. You know what I mean? She was like, I didn't know that she heard me upstairs, but she said, I have the same thing. I have to take medication. Don't you ever say that again. And this is the most gentle, calm, like you would never think, but to just for her to say that, to come down and check me and put me in, put me in my place, and to say I have what he has, I take medication. I was like, oh, that's why I even look at it a whole different way, because that's not cool.
Well, you're conditioned to say things like that. It just becomes something that just comes out.
Yeah.
Like same with like the OCD thing. Like someone's just like, oh, sorry, I'm so OCD. Can you actually do this?
That.
I do. But I also get it. Like I don't like it.
It's not
but
okay.
It's not okay.
It's not okay.
But it's something that's been said for so long, so offhandedly, that if someone says it, it's just a product of them hearing it. So they have to be called out one time and be like, hey, that's actually not cool. And then they're like, oh my God, holy crap, I never even thought about it being not cool.
True.
It's just a thing that you say, like, come on.
Come on.
There it is.
So I definitely have a lot of like forgiveness there. But I also know that like the form of OCD I have doesn't like ruin my life on a daily basis. Like I know there are different levels to all of these things that like if it affected your every waking moment and made life agony, and then someone's like, I'm so ADHD, then I'd be pissed. But like, you know, I guess it's more of a luxury that I can be like, hey, actually the thing you said.
Exactly. And that's what I was going to say too, is I mean, with your OCD, like you seem to really champion through a lot of that as well. Like what, like,
thank you, I tried.
He's gotten a lot better. I remember when you've
seen him over the years.
Over the years, when you first got here, you were like really weird with touch. I do know that. A lot more like, it was just like certain things.
So funny story about that, and I appreciate you saying that. Funny story about that. I got off of my meds like cold turkey when I started at Smosh, and I also went through a breakup at the same time. So my anxiety was just like spiking so hard. It wasn't even the OCD stuff so much, it was anxiety. And it was really hard. And it was interesting being in this new environment where like I had come from a place of like TV and film that was very structured, very like, this is the way things done. And I had never done YouTube before, and it looks like that from the outside. But in reality, it's like, you know, everything's crazy and wacky, and people are trying to slate, but other people on set are still like talking and all that stuff. And I was literally like, whoa, what is this? This is so weird. Like in my mind at first, I'd be like, wow, this is kind of unprofessional, but it's just, no, it's a different profession.
right.
But point being, we were doing like summer games and people were weird with like touch with me. Like there were a couple different people that worked here, and I'm not going to call out specific names, but they'd be like, haha, like nipple tweak, like, oh, you got to watch out for that dude. He might smack your butt. And then
that's a
I
little
was napping one time and like someone like trout legged me and just like slapped between it. And so, but see, those are all things that are not okay. But I'm so aware of being like that OCD guy that calls out everything that I was just like, it'll be a lot easier for people to stomach. Hey, I'm actually weird with touch. Not be like, hi, HR, you have an employee that's worked for you for years that grabbed my nipples? Like, what the Like, in what possible place is that okay? So me saying I'm weird with touch, that's not true. I love hugs. I love high fives. I love handshakes. I love like putting my arm around somebody and vice versa.
Just
I love that stuff.
Were at the time,
but it was just, it was also me just sort of falling on my sword and being like, I don't want to make this a big deal. So, hey, everyone, I'm weird with touch. Will that be enough for you to not grab my ass at a workplace?
Which is
like,
that's not cool that you had to like had to put that in place.
It's weird.
That's grossly inappropriate.
Thank you. Yeah. So yeah, just for the record, I'm not weird with touch unless someone's just like, aha, nipples. Like I that.
But I really thought you were bad with touch. It was just like it started going around. I was like, yo, just don't do like.
I mean, you got like, okay. In a way, no touch there.
Yeah.
No. Unless you want.
Well, for the record, I don't.
I almost touched your nipples. I would have got you. Maybe it's me.
I don't. No.
I'm not gonna name names.
I'm not gonna call out names. But it was just a matter of like.
I do. Look, I touch. I do say I do touch, but I hope if I've ever touched you,
you've never.
Okay.
No.
Okay. I just have to make sure.
I love hugs. I love stuff like that. That's why it was so sad for me to be like, oh, careful, everyone. Damien doesn't like.
Bro, it was so like I was like, okay, so I just got to make sure I don't, because I love hugs. I give everybody hugs. I'm like, yo, what's up? So I was like, okay, Damien's someone I can't give a hug to. I'll remember that.
I appreciate. I mean, in attempts to not make it a big deal, I also, I guess, made it a much bigger deal of like, yo, did nobody touch this dude? So that was
look, nobody was touching. Nobody was touching after the conversations.
Yeah. Well,
look, no more ass slap.
Yeah, right.
Come on.
Yeah, it was a trade-off. It's like someone won't grab your chest, but at the same time, you can never be hugged again. It's like, all right, But no, I mean, we're here, and it's been interesting for me to like confront all these things that like first impressions, whether it was like starting back at Mythical or like way back in the day when people will bring something up, I'll be like, oh my God, like I don't even recognize that version of me that I was. Like that was an issue for people. And even you saying that now, like, oh yeah, we all knew not to touch you. I was just like, wait, oh God, that was a thing. That's crazy. Like, and it's sometimes hard to break those conceptions, but all you can do is, show people otherwise.
Right, exactly.
Come on. That was nice.
Come on.
Come on. Ixol. Come on.
Hajimemashite.
Hajimemashite. Kevin Des. Awesome, y'all. That was thanks for. Is there anything else you want to say to the people out there who are watching who maybe have ADHD? Advice from like a senpai?
Okay,
kind of figure?
Here's my advice. It might get a little emotional for some people.
Sure.
While your ADHD is a part of you, you are not your ADHD. You are an awesome person. It gives you lots of skills and it can help you with your personality. In your head, you're probably going to hate yourself and question everything that you do and think everybody hates you for it. It's not true. And you can do it and just work hard and know that you're not the only one out there.
Come on.
Dude, that's so nice. I'm getting a little teary. That's really nice.
Also,
don't cry.
Final shout out. Check out if you guys want to find other like-minded people with ADHD and hear other stories and how to work through stuff. There's a ADHD subreddit that I frequent on there a lot, and they'll say like, I had a problem with this today, or man, ADHD is really getting me with this, or hey, I got medication today and I'm feeling better, or hey, how do you guys work through this issue? The ADHD subreddit is amazing.
That's awesome. Yeah. It's no matter what you deal with, it's always nice to read something or hear something and go, "Oh, there I am."
Yeah, that was a moment in my life where I legitimately. This is maybe kind of bring it back a little too much. Lacey and I, when we were fresh in our relationship, when we just first started dating, we'd had some issues, and I had never been in a long-term relationship with somebody, so I had never dealt with I had always dealt with ADHD as myself and friends, not with in a relationship. We had issues. It was a rocky start, and for a while, we didn't know what was going on. It was like, was it her? Was it me? I was hurt. She was hurt. And then, like, for me, I was like, wait a minute. I completely forget I have ADHD sometimes.
Come on.
And I researched it, and I was with her. I remember, like, we had just had a little, like, an argument, and I was, like, in bed researching it. It had, like, point A, point B of, like, who the person who has ADHD probably feels like this in the relationship, and the person with ADHD who doesn't and is dealing with it feels like this. And it was like column for column exactly how we both felt, and we just cried. We just held each other and cried, and it was like,
come on.
but it's like that kind of stuff, like acknowledging it, being like, you know, this is me, and like that was a road to like working on a lot of really cool stuff in our relationship and life. So
That's incredible, man.
Y'all held each other and cried.
yeah, it was really.
Now, if that ain't a come on, I don't know what is.
Yeah.
I'm still not entirely sure what is, but I think that's one.
Come on.
That is a come on.
That's what I'm saying.
Oh man,
So-
I love you guys.
I
This
love
is
you
great.
too, man.
I respect the hell out of you for coming on here and talking about it, because you know we get comments all the time about like, thank you for talking about this. You know, it's a nice little offshoot from the goofy comedy personality based stuff that we usually do.
It really is.
Where we can do even a little bit of good. I still get messages about the body image podcast. You know,
I
when
love
Shane
that
and I talk
podcast,
about it,
man.
they're like, I've never heard guys talk about this before. I've never heard men say these things, and it was like, whoa,
That was a really great moment. I was over there nodding my head constantly,
hell yeah.
and my neck hurt.
I think I got to catch that one. I got to look at that one.
Yeah, check it out.
Yeah.
It's similar to this, where we
Yeah.
just talk about insecurities, but it's Shane opening up about you know, his own issues with his body, and I was just like, oh hey, actually, like me too. And then you know, so many people, regardless of gender, but you know, there's
Yeah.
the stigma around men specifically.
we don't
We
care.
don't care. It doesn't matter.
Oh,
And it's
no,
just like, no,
we-
Anything
definitely
anybody
hate my
said
love
to
handles,
you,
like,
and it's probably something somebody said to you or brought to
Yeah.
your attention, or like all of that stuff. Those things stick.
They do.
I actually just had to tell my mom. So this is funny. She had said, like, just growing up, my eyes are big, right? So I have like really like big expressive eyes. And I mean, I had to grow into them a little bit, but like beyond that, I just remember whenever my mom or like my sister's like, "Oh my God, your eyes!
Oh, that
Your
sticks with you, huh?
eyes! Oh, why's your eyes so
Yeah,
big,
but
boy?"
that's.
But like that's the thing. So like, you know, me and my mom were talking and we're on the phone, and she had said something about my eyes. I said, "You know what, Mom?" I said, "You used to talk about my eyes a lot," and I said it really messed me up. Like my eyes, my teeth, different
Good
things
for
like
you,
that.
man.
But then she was like, she said, "I love your eyes." I said, "Well, you have to watch how you say it. It's not what you
Right.
say; it's how you say it." Because I thought that I had the most gigantic,
It creates a complex.
messed up
It
eyes in the
creates
world.
a complex.
She said, "I love your eyes," and when she said that, I'm like, "What did you just?" When she said that, I couldn't believe it. I was like, "But you said it like, look at those eyes, like
Yeah.
look at
Right.
those." Man, it messed me up. It
Like,
messed me up.
Good for you for saying
Yeah.
something about it, and then then she got to clarify. Like the conversation, communication happened.
So
Yeah.
important. I forget even what it was about, but it was something almost exactly like that with my mom. Like a couple months ago, I was just like, "Hey, I don't know if you know this, but you always used to say things this way, and you said it kind of that way right now. It'd be, you know, this is what that meant to me."
Yeah.
So like, it's funny how it doesn't always have to be an argument, but it's like,
Yeah.
hey, just so you know, like,
That's what you're doing.
this is what you're doing. And it sucks that we have to wait till we're adults, sort of, because it's
Yeah.
like they're probably not going to have another kid and
Right.
give another shot.
because
It's just, you know.
and like as a kid, so you're just dealing with it. You know what I mean? You're
You
trying
don't
to
know any
process
different.
it.
You're
Yeah.
you're learning like social society, all that
Process.
stuff.
If
Yeah.
you are processing, so beyond anything, like why would you say something that you're processing? Like where does this come
Right.
from? And then you hear it the same way. It's like, oh, this is because of this. It's
Right.
because I messed up in this way. Oh, you like my eyes?
Yeah.
Whoa, why did you say it with so much dislike?
And even now, like, you can look back and be like, oh, it's coming from a place of like playful love. But when you're a kid,
Gotta
you don't
watch
have
that
that.
playful
You don't
love.
have context. You don't
Right.
know.
You gotta
Or-
watch that.
Yeah.
You have to watch that. And I
Sure.
think, especially in the black community, we play so hard with each other.
Mm.
Like a black person roast session, like sometimes it's like fun and it's sweet and it's just like ha ha. But some of the things that we would say to one another, like even my mom, like she's the best mom in the world. But like sometimes it's just certain things that just stick. And now I
Yeah.
think, like it's stuck. There
Sure.
are things that it stick. I'm like, Mom, you used to call us ugly. She said, I never said that. I said y'all were funny looking. Mom.
Sure.
Come on.
You just don't have the perspective yet. But like as an adult, you'd say that to your friends. So like, it's you teach kids language and you teach them social interaction and all that stuff. But like, yeah, when you don't have a basis yet, sarcasm and playful
I just
ribbing.
made my mom look like the most horrible person. My mom is the reason that I'm here. She believes in me. She gives me the utmost support.
Hi, Keith's
I
mom.
think anyone who's ever listened to you talk about your mom knows that you have nothing but amazing love for her.
She just messed up a couple times.
Well, yeah, who's going to be perfect? The same thing with my mom. I love my mom. She's
Welcome to the
wonderful,
call-out
and she
cast.
was a wonderful mom. But I'm just saying, like, you still have those conversations.
Right.
That's all good.
Yeah, I love her. I'm gonna call her right as soon as we get done with this. Come on.
So actually, I had a question to ask you,
Please
Damien.
do.
When is this airing? You guys are not quite in Australia yet.
Oh, I can't wait, though.
You're gonna-
so can't
you
wait.
going to Australia?
Yeah, right?
Ori, we going to Australia?
Or
no.
That's not.
I'm going to eat a koala.
No, you can't. What?
Arr.
You can't eat
I'm
koalas?
going to try my best.
No.
I'm going to go up to a tree and just kick it. And if one drops down, I'm going to catch it and then name it and then eat it so it's harder on me because I named it.
How about?
I'm so sorry, everyone in Australia, for doing that.
Yeah, that was
voice.
Not nice.
that was great.
Look, come on.
They can cut it out.
No, I'm not. That's me.
No,
I'm not cutting it out. Kevin, don't cut this out.
I know for a fact I can't. That's not a real Australian accent. That actually also comes from Matthew Scott.
Really?
'Cause it was me, it was me and Shane's So Random Days where he had this character that was like supposed to be an Australian model, and it was based off of like him and his brother watching Australia's Next Top Model. And there was like one judge that said something to the effect, I'm going into a friend's memory here, but like is like, you have to do the best pose. If you don't do the best pose, you won't get the job. And so like, he just took that accent and like bastardized it and then shared it with us, and that's why Shane and I are always like, or no. But in reality, everyone on the show is like, we don't talk like that. Like,
Didn't he did a character based off that and he had to do like the crazy dance or something too? I think I saw that clip. The Angus.
Do the Angus.
I saw that clip and I was beside myself with how crazy that was.
It was incredible.
That dance was insane.
But anyway.
But yes, so Smosh.
Shout out to Matthew Scott.
Is it called Smosh Australia?
It is now.
Oh, okay.
Okay,
Smosh
man,
Australia.
Come on, Smosh Premier.
So have you been to Smosh Australia before?
I've never been to Smosh Australia or Australia. I am very excited for multiple reasons. People learned this about me on tour. My favorite part about traveling is trying new foods and specialties I wouldn't normally get anywhere else. No, not moving on the bus. So I'm excited to see what Australia has to offer food-wise. I can't wait to try like local specialties and things like that, because that's part of how you experience and share culture. Food is so important.
Oh, for sure.
Even if you don't speak the same language, you connect through food, and that's a big deal to me.
What food do they? I actually don't know what Australian food. I know shrimp on the Barbie. That's all I know.
Shrimp on a Barbie.
I also feel like maybe that's not even real.
I don't even think that's real. That's all I know. Or what Outback Steakhouse has told me.
You pour
bloomin' onions. I can't even do an accent.
A Foster's Lager into a can of Vegemite and put it on a bloomin' onion. No.
Vegemite.
So
that's a eat it or eat it. Australia.
I actually can't wait. Here's my thing about that. I know that like kangaroos are farm raised sometimes for food, so I was like, oh, maybe if given the opportunity I'll try that. But I also know the wildfires have been insane and so much wildlife was lost, so I don't know the situation there anymore. I don't want to be the guy that eats the last kangaroo. I want to just like be as like conservative as possible with my food choices there, because I also don't like I don't want to do anything inhumane or weird,
this
but
ain't the time.
It's not the time.
No time is the time. Come on. No time is the time.
Why is that?
Not to do anything inhumane.
Oh, got it. I thought you were saying there is never a right time to eat a kangaroo.
That's what
and
I
I'm
was
like,
thinking too.
well, they're just like, they're jumpy cows. Like, that's all they are.
They are.
They're just some jumpy ass cows.
They're buff, though. They're buff.
They will beat your ass.
They will. No, I'm not going to find and track down a live kangaroo, like running beside it. Like, excuse me, stop.
What messes me up is they balance on their tails, too.
Yeah,
they do.
That's like weird.
Their tails are their little balancing things.
Good Lord. Come on.
Sorry, if I still had a tail, I would do that.
Hold on, what?
What's up?
Step back.
And that's all the time we have. No. But I'm so excited for Australia. It's cool because we're doing Supernova on both Gold Coast and Melbourne. I know the days in between there, we actually have like a fair amount of time to just sort of do nothing. So I was kind of considering doing my own thing again and kind of getting lost in a country where
that's the place you don't want to get lost in, though. They have deadly animals.
I'm not gonna like drop myself on top of Ayers Rock and be like, figure it out.
Isn't like everything bigger there too? Like all like big.
That's Texas.
Deep in the heart. Come on.
Am I gonna have to cut that? Is that a real song?
That's
if
the
so,
Texas
it was
theme. Not theme song. The Texas.
The Texas theme.
That's a Texas theme song. Come on.
It plays when every Texan wakes up because they live in a dystopian future.
They fire their gun up in the air.
I just want one morning where I'm not listening to the...
If they try to own that from that, the world is coming to an end for
Texas,
sure.
we actually love you.
Come on, we
love
do
you.
love Texas.
I drove through Texas. It took me 15 hours. It was amazing.
Oh, yeah. I drove through, unfortunately, the top part of Texas, which is a bummer.
Yes.
That's why I don't drive. Come on.
Yeah, I drove out from Georgia the first time coming out here, and Texas was the bulk of the drive. And it was it was like, you hit Alabama, and there's these beautiful fields, and you hit Louisiana, and there's all this swampland, and all this, wow, look at America, and then Texas. And then it was like whatever force was making America, like, got a phone call. Like, at least for the top of Texas. Texas is beautiful, but like, I'm talking about you listen to the sound of wind for 36 hours.
You get to see some like those oil, I forget what they're called.
Those like little drinky birds.
Yeah,
that,
oil drinky birds.
That actually make that oil. Yeah.
Oil derricks.
Oil derricks.
Oh, by the way,
What's up, Brennan?
Brennan is taking over for me right now. Brennan, hi.
Hi.
Brennan is my twin brother.
Come on.
Hi, twin brother.
He with the better hair and the better beard.
The better head and the better beard. Come on.
So really quick, going back to SmoshAustralia.
Yeah.
Wait, so where did you say you guys were gonna go?
We're gonna be doing Supernova, which is a convention.
Oh, I didn't actually. I thought that was like that's a convention center.
Oh no, it's not a convention center. It's like saying I'm doing Comic-Con San Diego or Comic-Con New York, but it's Supernova, Gold Coast, and Melbourne.
Okay, when you say that, is it?
Here's the thing, man. I've said Melbourne many times.
Yep.
Then everybody goes, actually, if you were from there, actually the way they say it is Melbourne. And I'm like, well, I'm also not speaking with the accent right now, so I will say Melbourne.
Right.
So people like Keith don't have to ask me when I'm talking about it, who speak American English, and that's who I'm talking to.
Come on, well, you learn something new every day. Melbourne.
But this is the one time someone hasn't corrected me for that. So like now
I just assumed you know what you're talking about. You said it with such confidence.
Oh, I appreciate it. That's the thing, though. Like, sometimes people are like, actually, if you order that thing in a restaurant, it's called foie ponton sans pain. And I'm like, yeah, but if I have to ask about that, like, it's flipping, I don't know. It's so much easier to just say it how I say it. Like, don't you know those people who are like, yes, I'm going to go to an Italian restaurant and order the spaghetti. I'm like, you sound like an asshole. Maybe you're saying it right. Maybe you are.
Parmigiano.
I hate that.
I hate it. I hate it so much.
So okay, all right.
Spaghetti.
So
anyway,
you're gonna be in Australia doing those, and you guys still have tickets for sale, right?
what's that?
I'm promoting Australia right
Thank you.
now.
I think we do.
That's
Also,
the pro.
so definitely come see us in Supernova.
In Melbourne.
And also in Melbourne, Melbourne and Gold Coast. So also, we get a lot of messages when people say like, "Oh man, why didn't you come here?" And why not come to Adelaide? Nobody comes to Adelaide. Oh man, this is like the first time that we have a group, at least for as long as I've been here, are going out of the country. Mm-hmm. So you can't hit everywhere all at once, especially because Australia is a continent.
Right.
I'll just say that like if this does well, that opens up the door to like possibilities for other things in the future.
Hey.
This is us like dipping our toes in the water, and it's
Endless
people who are like, "Why aren't you scuba diving?" It's like, well, we're gonna dip the toes first.
Hey, come on, dip them toes.
Dip the toes, just a little toesy.
Just a little toe.
Just a little moist up that little toe.
Come on.
Ooh.
But yeah,
those
we're
toes.
excited for it. If you have any recommendations for what to do, be it as a group or if I go off solo, or if you're like, no, Australia is more way dangerous than you think, don't go off solo. Tell me, save my life.
Yeah,
Where's that
comment on this video as well if you guys have any suggestions for Australia.
Where's that one building that everybody goes to take pictures of?
Sydney Opera House.
Come on,
Right?
I
With
know
that looks like a
Yeah.
boat.
Yeah,
Yeah.
That's right on the wheelbar.
Mhm.
You guys gonna go check it out?
I don't know because I know we're not going
Oh, you're not
to
going
Sydney,
there, but you have
so
some time
but it's
off?
like, do I go do that? Do I also?
Well, you have time.
Yeah, we've got like a few days in between, so we sort of bookend our trip. We're doing like Supernova. I forget if Melbourne or Gold Coast is first, but one of them, and then we've got several days, and then a different one. That's why I kind of want to go off on my own. But also, I was thinking of asking for like a few extra days and being like, hey, when we're leaving, since I'm so close to Japan, can I just hit up Kyoto for like 3 or 4 days?
Oh my God, you would.
I mean, but I'm right there.
That's a
I'm
legitimate.
right, if you're gonna fly across the Pacific Ocean, you got to
might as
make
well
it.
stop.
You got to
Yeah,
get
it's
your
really
get your
close.
times worth.
Very close.
Very
I go
close.
with you.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, are we going with you to Australia? Can we go with you, Damien? This is your call and
Yes.
only your call.
As
Come on.
the producer king of Smosh,
Hey, that's what I'm talking about.
All
Yeah.
hail.
Like a boss. Come on.
All hail.
like or as a boss.
You guys have been doing the canceled segment,
Oh yeah.
and I want in on that.
Oh okay.
We should do the cancel.
Keith, have you been party to this cancel?
Come on,
yet?
lay it on me. What is
So
this?
we're basically canceling somebody. What's the thing we're canceling the week? And it's not necessarily like this person's bad, but it's like I'm canceling when you're waiting too long for your Postmates order and then they cancel on you. I'm canceling that. Like it's just something you're done with this week.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. So what are you canceling, Keith?
So like since we're talking about orders, I am canceling Uber Eats making all orders under $15, $3, the $3 delivery fee. What is up with that? That is not a come on moment. That is a don't do that. If it says $149 for something, it should be $149 if it's under $15. And just because it's under $15 doesn't mean it should be $3 delivery fee. Come on.
Yeah.
Do you have the like unlimited service in that you still have to pay on top of that?
Yeah. See, that's the other part about it. Like, yes, I have to pay that too.
Yeah.
So like if I'm paying this and that, there's no reason I should get it to $15 just to like spend $1 less.
Yes.
That's crazy. Come on.
I do the Postmates Unlimited, but it's the same thing. If it's under $15, there's a delivery fee. But so many restaurants have figured that out, and they're like, we only offer 10 kinds of sandwiches, and each sandwich is $14.95. So you're like,
Isn't that
I have to order 2 sandwiches
or you
to
gotta
make
get
it
a bag
worth
of
it.
chips. So I
Yeah.
didn't want those chips and
Lord.
soda,
Want those
but
chips,
guess I'm
but
getting
guess I'm
them.
getting it.
Exactly.
Yeah, okay, I feel
Yeah.
that.
Yeah. So that is canceled.
Canceled.
But I'm gonna order some stuff tonight. Come on.
Shout out to each of our individual delivery services. Please hit us up for sponsorship.
Yes.
Kevin, what's canceled? You're excited to cancel something?
Yes.
Yes.
I want to cancel having to untie your shoes all the way to take them off.
Oh,
Oh, bro, I'm big
dude.
with that.
Yeah, like
Yes.
it's like I'm all about like slipping shoes on, slipping them off. I like shoelaces because they look cool when you tie them the right way.
Come on.
But come on, like my feet, you got to take them all the way off. You're like, I want my shoes off now.
Mhm.
I don't want to have to tie, and then you have to tie them all the way back up.
Do you know what you should do? So you lace them up, like,
Yeah.
lace them up like regular, but you just put the shoestrings on the inside instead of like tying them. So when they go on the inside from the outside, they're already in your shoe, and you just like put your foot on them.
And then
Come
I don't have to
Nice.
untie them all the way then after that too. 'Cause
You
I
never
got,
tie 'em.
I got some nice boots with Damien when I was in Japan.
It's true.
I
You
love
did.
them. They're
Okay.
amazing.
You did.
But like sometimes I'm like I just don't want to deal with them, so I cancel taking shoes off all the way with the laces. I
See,
said it right. I
I'm
did
gonna
it
have to
right. I
teach you a
did
few
that.
things. Just come on
Okay.
to my house and I'll teach you some stuff.
Yeah, teach me later, please.
Do it. Learn him something.
Damien, what are you canceling?
Oh man, I didn't know we were canceling anything this week. Nothing too big, but I think I want to cancel thrift stores that don't wash the clothing enough.
They never wash.
Yes.
No,
they,
never.
They clean. They like do some. They
Like a
put some
steaming or
cleaning
something, right?
They do something like that, but they never wash it. They're not
See,
spending no money on that.
They need to have an industrial size washer in the back and do that because we went thrift shopping in I think Portland or maybe it was Seattle on tour, and I found like 4 clothing pieces that I really liked. Like one was a really good quality jacket from a good brand, and I was
Nice.
like, "Damn, this is awesome!" But then I like smelled it, and it had that like mildew, like
Yeah.
teenager who hasn't figured out
Yeah.
deodorant yet kind of smell.
Yeah.
That's
And I
because
was
they
like,
didn't wash it
"Damn."
at all, bro.
how gross.
They're not like. I don't believe thrift stores actually wash it.
Goodwill
They put
does. Goodwill
they,
has,
they
like-
put like some stuff on there to make it smell better and do
Well,
like
they
stuff
didn't
like
put
that.
enough
some
on
They
there.
spray.
just Febreze it.
I'm canceling it because like you don't know if that comes
Yeah.
out. Like sometimes with that kind of smell, it might not come out with a wash. So if I knew for a fact they washed this and it didn't come out, then it'd be fine. But I didn't know, so I didn't get it.
Have you washed it?
Oh, I didn't buy it.
You didn't buy it?
No,
I'm
no
sure
way.
you
'Cause I was
would've
like, this
been
could smell
alright.
like ass.
Come on.
It's gross.
Smell like
Um,
ass. Come on.
Well, you guys, this has been a lot of fun. A lot of firsts. You
Yeah.
and I had never done a podcast together. I don't
That's
think.
so weird.
Kevin is on this side for the first time, and therefore also with you for the
Yeah,
first time.
come
I
on.
like it a lot.
Oh, thank you for sharing too.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Thank you, guys.
Thank you
Thank
for
you
letting
for
me
sharing.
share. Thank you for
Yeah.
the platform, and thank you for sharing too.
Yeah,
Come on, that's a lot of
let's
little
normalize
little
this stuff.
feelies.
Oh, come on.
You guys, if you enjoyed this, please rate us 5 stars wherever you're listening to this podcast. It really does help us out. You can, of course, listen to us on Spotify and iTunes on Wednesdays
Come on.
when this comes out. Otherwise, the video version is available on Friday on our YouTube channel,
Come on.
youtube.com/SmoshCast.
Come on.
But you guys, until then, I hope you have a fantastic week, and we will catch you next time.
Oh, come on. This has been beautiful. I'm so
This
happy
has
to be
been
here.
beautiful.
But I'm also
With a
happy to
soulful
go.
voice.
Goodbye.
Kinda. No, I'm
Because
not.
we have lunch waiting for us.
Yeah, I'm really hungry.
And I'm going to eat fried rice with scrimps.
I think I got like a. Come on.
Scrimp fried rice.
That's going
Somebody
to be
had to
so
do that.
annoying.